Old Man Winter is bringing a preview of what's to come in the next few months. Thank you for watching Jason Nappy Weather. Up to 18 inches of snow in Vermont, up to a foot of snow in Maine, all happening right now. Low pressure moving through the Gulf of Maine, a coastal hugger that's going to really hit a roadblock over the Canadian Maritimes, and it's going to bring a bunch of snow to northern New England. So this is mostly for the mountains. However, down east Maine is going to make a run at several inches of snow too, but mostly to the north, okay? So not everyone's going to see snow from this. Certainly the coastline, not that much, except down east Maine, once again, we'll see a few inches at most. But the coastline generally too warm. It is going to be the storm that is moving up towards the northeast, okay? And as it does so, it's going to pull that moisture here. So you get an upslope snow event in the places like Vermont and the mountains there, also upstate New York and Maine too. You're going to get a bunch of snow. Southern New England, not going to get this one. It is just too warm at this time. So we'll take a look at the maps in more detail now. Here's a look at the forecast in Vermont. You see here, a run for 18 inches here in early November. So great in the upslope. And also in New York too, Cranberry Lake heading up Lake Placid 3 inches. Look at Stowe there, 9 inches. But on the upslope here from the northwest flow, you're going to get a run for a foot to a foot and a half. That's a look at Vermont. Hold on, if you're watching from Maine, I got that too for you. And New Hampshire, the presidential range getting a foot, foot and a half. Okay, here on the high peaks, western Maine, west of Jackman, Greenville 4, Millinocket 3. This is additional snow to come. Holton around 2, Caribou 3. But then in the North Woods and the Allagash, you've got several inches. Now all the way down to the coastline, an inch in Machias, an inch in Calais, a half-inch Bar Harbor, 1 inch in Bangor, a trace in Rockland, and then the western foothills there where you've got less than an inch of snow. So yes, it is snow. It is happening. This is through Wednesday morning because of that upslope flow. So a closer look at Maine in more detail. 8 inches here up in Oxbow, 6 in Patton, 16 in Katahdin, 9 Clayton Lake, 8 here in the Boundary Plateau, and then Fort Kent 8, Caribou 4, Presque Isle 6. Okay, you see here high on the Boundary Plateau, and then into the western mountains, you're going to get your several inches. But also Eastport an inch, Machias, Wesley, Calais, Topsfield, Lincoln up to 4 inches, Bangor an inch or 2. So the forecast is promising. If you like snow, if you don't like snow, well, I got news for you. Winter, Old Man Winter is here bringing that winter preview. So let's look at the radar of what's happening the last hour. Look at all this banding going on in Maine. Okay, this is out of Holton, and you see where all the snow is coming through right now. And yes, it is definitely going to be continuing to snow. However, there's rain going on in Calais and in Princeton, but this is eventually going to switch over to snow later tonight in the overnight, early tomorrow. Okay, so right now you're on the warm side in Eastport and Lubec, but you're going to switch over tonight. Okay, that's a look out of Maine. Here's a look at the radar out of Burlington and Plattsburgh. The blue you see on the map is the snow right here, okay, west of Plattsburgh. And also, you look here, I'm going to go ahead and switch this over so you can see where the winter storm warnings are near Montpelier. Love Montpelier. Winter storm warnings tomorrow, also heading up here around Newport. So in Vermont is going to get clobbered by this. Also up around Saranac Lake, winter storm warnings up there too. Up in New York for the snow that's coming. You can pull the radar out of Canada and see where the blue is. That's where the snow is happening right now. And eventually this turns into an upslope, okay? So an upslope, you're going to have that moisture, okay, that wind here, all that moisture gets squeezed out. When it goes up against the mountains here, that moisture gets squeezed out. It creates that lift that you need to get that precipitation. So there will be snow going on in northern New England, and also I count the upstate of New York part of New England to an extent, right around Watertown and Saranac Lake. Okay, it's so far north up in the Adirondacks. Okay, so mostly a mountain snowfall situation where you see these polygons. That is where the snow is going to be continuing. There was a little bit of ice in the western foothills, western mountains of Maine forecast there, and also New Hampshire. That expires 8 hours. Okay, winter weather advisory. So mostly an advisory type event for Maine, but it's a winter storm warning event for a place like upstate New York and Vermont, where they're going to get clobbered 10, 18 inches of snow there. So here's a look at the satellite picture. Here is your storm center, a coastal hugger, so the coast gets rain on the front side, and then the mountains get snow, and then eventually it's going to wrap up here, and these 20s and 30s, cold air is going to get pulled down, okay, from the north and west here out of Canada. So eventually this storm is going to get stronger as it moves up the coastline. So here's a look at the surface analysis, a snapshot of the atmosphere showing where the storm center is, right there in Casco Bay in Maine. This upper level energy transferring to the coast. It's going to move up here and park over New Brunswick, and it's going to get stronger. And as it gets stronger, then it's going to pull that wind to the northwest, and you'll get the upslope snow. As you'll see here by the forecast, by the Weather Service, you can very clearly see it here. The storm is going to go this way, okay, move up into New Brunswick, and it's going to get stronger. You're going to see tightly packed isobars over eastern Canada. Those are lines of equal pressure in the atmosphere. The closer they get together, okay, the more the wind is going to crank up. So it is going to be windy later tonight and tomorrow as the storm heads up into eastern Canada. Now, if you're not a fan of snow and cold weather, I have good news for you. By the weekend coming up, there's going to be a temperature spike here, especially Friday night to Saturday. Temperatures 20, 25, 30 degrees above typical, okay, into Saturday morning especially. So it is going to warm up briefly. Well, I can see widespread 50s and even some 60s popping up for, and overnight lows are going to be well above average. So a little break on the heating bill there. I thank you so much for watching the forecast here. I do this forecast every day. You're welcome to follow along for free on Facebook or be a subscriber. I really appreciate you so much. JasonHappyWeather.com or wherever you're watching on. The forecast every day right here for you. So I thank you so much. Feel free to sign up, ask me any questions about the weather. Happy to answer them for you. Have a great day.